Well, welcome one and all to Bike Racing Without Mercy on a beautiful but very cold Sunday morning here in the UK. I'm pretty sure it's cold across the rest of Europe, and I know for sure it is in the USA. Australia, you guys, well, and New Zealand, you guys are lucky. Trust me, it's been already a pretty grim winter. Anyway, looking forward to today's Tour de Watopia. Yes, it is Eric Min's kind of cathedral to indoor cycling. It starts, well, this week, stage 1, Tour de Watopia. It's the Macuri 40. It starts, I mean, it's the most horrid of starts. It's VO2 to the absolute max. Anyway, time to get into the starting pen, because I think if I don't join the event quickly, I will struggle to get towards the front. Join the event. Very good morning to you, Martin. How's it going? Good to see you. How's your new year? Has it got off to a decent start? Hang tight, says Zwift. Yeah, definitely hang tight. Now, I've warmed up on the first bit of the grade. I've done a couple of ascents of that just to really get some nice low cadence, grinding in the saddle, out the saddle, really fire up the muscles that are going to be in full effect in the first part of this particular event. I believe we go straight into about a 5-minute effort, and it is 5 minutes full gas. Is the sound all right, Martin? I can't. Zone 2 for you today again. Yeah. I did some zone 2 yesterday on the rollers. I've been doing the rollers actually recently, and the thing about the rollers, it's good for the stabilisation, all the core, all that kind of stuff, the pedalling technique, but also really good for the abductors. My abductors were killing me when I did my first session of the rollers on Sunday, and then another one on, I think it was the Monday. Perfect sound, thank you very much. Very good morning to you, Patrick. How are you? Top of the morning to you. Hope all is good. That's a very Irish start. Top of the morning to you. Now am I at the back of the pen here? I think I might be at the back of the pen. But on the rollers, suddenly my left-right balance has collapsed to 47 on the right and 53 on the left. I'm absolutely incandescent with rage. I can't believe it. Are you in this one, TC? Morning to you. Good to see you, sir. Let's have a look, see who's in it. Let me call out my Zwift companion. And actually, while we're at it, from the Zwift community, there's a young lad called Tyler Hannon. Now, he's a very, very, very good cyclist, and he's been riding for different pro continental teams. I think he got his first pro contract either last year or the year before. Anyway, he started his own YouTube channel. He's a young lad, and he's going to chart, obviously, to be defined. He's holding that back at the moment, his race season with his new team. But he puts up some pretty raw, but I think to the point, great videos, really nice videos that give you like 3 tips, 5 tips from an individual that has learned it, you know, through racing the hard way, knows what he's talking about, and just doesn't really mince his words. There's no real kind of science to it. It's like, this is what works. Definitely give Tyler Hannon a try. He's on YouTube now. I'd never met him before. I sort of interacted with him on Strava and Zwift. And it's really nice to see a young lad doing well, so give him a try. You've been sick for 3 weeks, Patrick. Oh my word, that is a long one. That is a proper long one. Well, I very much hope you start that process to recovery shortly. I mean, crikey. Well, not shortly, now. We want Patrick better now. Yeah, the shirt gave me the accent. It is in fact an Italian shirt, it's Andiamo Cycling. But yeah, the shirt did. Morning, Nick. Very nice race for you. Congratulations on your fitness rebuild. Reinforced quite some way. He did 3 laps of the pretzel in Watopia in an A race. He only thought he was doing 2. The final lap was a little emotional, but he held it together. Nick, broken leg. you're going to be stronger come climb season, because I think you're going to be hungrier for it than you would have been had you just carried on smashing people's face in on Zwift. You've had your face kind of not smashed in, I mean Christ, I have my face smashed in much more regularly, but you've been dropped and you're not used to getting dropped. So now the rebuild will be that much stronger for it. Always a little bit of adversity for the gains, the real life gains. Nothing like a bit of adversity. I'm still halfway back in a third pen. Oh, right. Dominican, good to see you. Today's race is 40 kilometres, but it isn't all, yeah, now Patrick, now. Dominic, it is not just an ordinary 40 kilometres. It starts with hell, VO2 to the absolute max. Yeah, fire in your belly, Nick. Fire in your belly. Anyway, I'll undo the jersey as I get hotter and the pain face, well, as the Tony Martin face starts to fade away and the pain face gets deployed, the old jersey will be open. Let me just open it a tad, make it a little easier. Very good morning to you guys. Lee is on the Dren rider list. What is the Dren rider list? Tell me. Oh, the Fred. Yeah. I'm hoping to ride it with Lee, but I'll need to stick with his wheel because that boy does it in about 6 hours. So if I can get a draft from him, it depends if he sets off really. If he sets off super late, no, because in the Fred Whitten, the fast groups, they set off late, like 7:30. The last you can do is 8:30, and they just pile through all of us, everybody, me, everybody else. When they come through, you can't catch on to. I don't know what it is. They're just coming through at such a speed. There's no chance. The thing about that strategy is, occasionally, life gets a little bit emotional on Honister, Newlands, and definitely Hardknot. There has been accidents in Hardknot causing it to be closed. And so while I want a sub 7 hour, I don't want to set off at 7:30 and to be kind of plotting my way through all the carnage. I might set off much earlier. So I'd love to ride with Lee again. And I have actually got, just literally editing a beautiful video with Lee. And it is our homage to the Fred Whitten. And it's something I've always wanted to do. And I reckon it'll take me probably another couple of weeks to edit. As a monsters, multi-camera, all that kind of stuff. But we filmed it in the summer, late summer, and it is a beauty. And that boy, he's a lot stronger than me. You'll see in the video, I was dropping him on the final climb and thinking, what's going on, Philip? What is going on here? This is not normal. And we get back to the end, the end of the ride. I'm not going to say where it was because that'll give it away. And Lee says, oh, my front disc brake has been rubbing. He put new disc brake on and he'd nearly rubbed it out on the entirety of the ride. That is, Christ. Yeah, different level of strength to me. And when you look at him in the saddle, as you'll see massive calves and I don't know, an aerobic engine that can punch hard to die for. So I do love surrounding myself with better riders than I. Nick Barrenbill being one such, Tony Cope, obviously Yoda Hamlet, but Lee is one such. There's many, Christ, that's why I go crit racing and get dropped. I love surrounding myself with people who tell me where the real standard is. You got your zone 2 as well. Yeah, I did some zone 2 the last 2 days, Friday and Saturday on the rollers. Friday was on a watt bike, Saturday was on the rollers, and I've been telling people my left-right balance has deteriorated on the rollers. It's a 53 on the left, 47 on the right. As I said, I was incandescent with Rage, and it's not just once, it's like every time when I've recalibrated them, I've used my different pair of Aciomas, different bike. I've done it about 5 times now on the rollers. If there's one thing that you can certainly say I am, it is pedantic. Because I've always had like 51, 49, 50, 50, or the other way around. It's always been alright. Right, got to get ahead in the game. I'm going to put the fan on in a second. Tyler Hannay, check out Tyler Hannay on YouTube. He's from the community from early days. He's had his pro contracts. He races against the best, certainly in the UK. We'll find out who he's racing against this year. He won his first professional race against UCI pros this year. I think he's riding St. Piran. But his YouTube channel is really informative, and it's no nonsense, it's short, each video. There's no real polish to it, which is, you know, that's what I like about it. It's raw, it's what YouTube used to be about. Triple F, what's race mode like on that kicker thing? Yeah, well, I'm playing with today, here's what I'm working with, so just quickly you can see. Race mode on the kicker bike is when you engage the kicker power meter. Fam. So if I go to, what is it, pair. So I've got my Faveros, kicker bike for controls and resistance. And then, in terms, because I was furious the last live stream, I've been furious a lot, incandescent furious. God, I got off to real aggro. I had a proper difficult end to last year, but this year, the rage is building. Trainer difficulty, you can see 75%. I reckon that's roughly where I run out of gears in real life, because I do want to run out of gears in real life. On Zwift around the same time. Not going to end the ride, that would have been stupid. Did you give me some kudos for that? I managed not to end the ride. I was hovering on it. Morning to you, John, hope all is good. Red Walters, okay, that's a good tip, thank you guys. Check out Red, a young local lad. Yeah, this is it, let's give some young lads a chance here. Well, it's not like one of my recommendations on YouTube suddenly gives people thousands of followers, but you know, I like, you know, if you can spread any love, spread some love. Stuart, very good morning to you, good to see you, sir. Hope all is well. Adam, you're in the race as well, nice one. Don't drop me too hard, Adam, please. Have some mercy on bike racing without mercy. It's Hannay, H-A-N-N-Y, I think, Hannay. H-A-N-N-A-Y, sorry, I am actually genuinely dyslexic. It was a big problem for me when I was a kid. Oh, I haven't got a towel. We've got 45 seconds to get a towel. It's much like Remco Evenepoel, isn't it? When he needed his gearing sorted out by his mechanics on the start of the TT ramp for the Olympics. There we go, look at that. 21 seconds to go. Chaos. Right, come on, Philip. Get your head in the game. Looking forward to this. I'm feeling very Zwiftish. We're gonna hit the lap. You're number 600. Flipping out, Adam. First 5 minutes, 370. You're going to make me want to weep. Cheers, Stuart. Mark, very good morning. Hope you're all right. $66 kilograms today. Froome, nice. Looks like I'm a bit more civilised than your start. Stuart. We'll see how long it stays. Oh, beats to me. Hey, right, Kevin. Gets you better. Dear me. Toby, lass. Good to see you. Dear me. That was on. Very good, Adam. Oh, cheers, B to B. Hey, Kieran. Thank you for joining. Oh, good to see you all. Nice videos recently, Gerben. Check out Robbie Gerben. Oh, absolutely B to B. Oh, Jimmy. That's a hard start. But I climb on. Happy with that. Not as bad as your start, Stuart. I was about 330 watts for the first 4. That's big for me. Yeah, the LT1's coming up, Triple F, on the Asiomas. I reckon it's about 212 to 215. I think that's the best. I did the Festive 500 volume, but I did it as a training block. But in the end, I managed 503 kilometers, and I think that is helping. It's been as high when I was 64 kg, tested in the lab at 225. Adrian Timmis. He's an ex-pro. He's got his own business, bike fitting, 60 years old. He's a legend. Somebody I aspire to be as fit mentally and physically. I'm nowhere near as fit mentally as him, I don't think. At 60. Do me. Thank you all. The support definitely makes, yeah, his company is called Cadence Sport. Definitely makes a difference. Now the beautiful thing about Tyler Haney, I'm not going to go on about him. He loves tempo with VO2 max surges of 60 or 30 to 60 seconds, 2 minutes tempo. Freaking brilliant. A Euro B, thank you very much. Cheers, P. Yeah, 60 years young, 100%. I mean, Martin, if you're 60, you again are an inspiration. Just needed to claw back towards the front. Atakan! 28 kilometers. Atakan is from Turkey, and he is a monster runner. Always with the good energy. Hey, Atakan. Yeah, it's proper hard. Beating the beat that start. Builds the mental fortitude. don't think it's so much about average power. Found. It's strategy. You need to sometimes be able to draft on the flat, and there's a fair bit of flat or undulating. And it's not overcooking yourself on the climbs. About 4 watts a kilogram on the climbs, the many of them, average. Feels okay on Honister. A bit less than that on obviously a Kirkstone. It's a longer climb. Quite drafty in the fast group though, at times, Kirkstone. It's about strategy, not stopping. If I'm on my own, I have to do that. I reckon about 200 watts average. No, 190 average, about 210 normalised. Would be my guess. At 65 kg, not 66 that I currently am. Where does the downhill come on this thing? I need to eat. Just mix it up a little bit. Guys, hit a rhythm here. I'm not sure, Kieran, because I'm going to crit race next weekend, I hope. But definitely, if I do, I won't be going hard on them all. I am trying to do more volume at or around upper zone 2, lactate threshold 1. Nice one. Good luck completing it. Don't go too hard on them all. You'll burn yourself out just coming back. And also there's a lot of flu, norovirus, coronavirus going around. Protect your immune system. This is okay. It's quite hard pace for me. No, definitely not going to. You're going to try and complete all of them. I thought you just meant one stage. Crikey. Sorry, Kieran. Misread you. That is huge. Definitely have some at zone 1. Listen to your body. I forgot to turn my fan on. Down below I've only got one fan on. I'm quite hot. Niels, Happy New Year. Nice to see you. What are you up to? What are your plans for this year? Niels of the old cycling hub with Tim Filford, Chris Pritchard. Jane, all the way from China. Love you, Jane. I don't like Jane travelling so far without me. Flipping hell, Adam. Respect, sir. That would have been hell. Thank you, Niels. That's appreciated. Respect, Adam. From 600 to the front group. Dear me. Isla, happy Sunday. Good to see you. Give your dad plenty of love. B to the B. Ha! Now we know what the Dutch Rhineland is. Adrian Timmis, cadence sport, reminded me to get my cadence up. Yeah, I'm feeling alright, thank you, Kieran, but we'll see on the next climb. That'd be a big punch. I think the stronger riders are conserving energy for that. Oh, I see. Thank you, Niels. So what climb have we got next? Can do that in real life. So you've been up the engineering for languages now, Niels? Osaka, Osaka Phoenix, aptly named for the Macuri 40. Darren. Ida Sinclair, yeah, a generation ago. Good to see Darren. I think you've just become our new dad, haven't you? Molecular biology. Can you give us some atomic physics, Niels? That's properly hard to understand. I once tried to read Stephen Hawking's book. I just couldn't. Sorry, Darren. Didn't realise. Already 30 months. My apologies. Oh, I'm struggling. When is the next climb? Thank you. Thank you, AB. Nice one, else. Oh, Martin, thank you for the atomic physics. This is proper hard. I need my other fan on. Cheers, Anakin. Glad to hear that, Adam. I am dying. Jimmy. Don't know if you can type, Adam. Oh. Yeah, red being the colour of my face, Niels. I think the next time actually comes in 5 kilometres then. I thought there was another one. I know there's one at 25 in the sand. Oh, dear me, Adam, yeah. Mine's a tad lower. Hey, Ian. Oh, we've all done that, Niels. All done that. I'm sure you'll come back strong. Oh, that ain't so bad. As long as the substance is good. Adrian Timmis, by the way, is also an aficionado of training difficulty being set high. He's a 100% man. Oh, I did. How long is the sand climb? Someone tell me. In minutes. Yeah, most people do run it in a 20 to 50% range, Nils. Three minutes, thank you, Adam. Come on. Get heart rate under control. Dear me, that was emotional. Cheers, Adam. Well done for making it back on. That was immensely emotional. Yeah, a smart coffee indeed. But no gains as a result. No fitness gains. Well, not no, less fitness gains. Respect to Adrian Timmis. Cheers, Martin. I hope I don't let you down. When does the next climb start, please? Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Draggy. Okay, roger that. Cheers, Stuart. One of the stages in the Hot Route Dolomites is like that. It dragged upwards. Well, a good climb for the first 15k, then a drag for about 70. Then fails the radio. Cheers, Stuart. Appreciate the tip, thank you. Hey Phil, good morning to you, sir. Just completed 160 or 200. I know this is not a race, but I'm happy to be in the front group, and it's felt like a race to stay here. Pleasure, El Nino. Good to see you, sir. Or madam. It's a very strong workout, that's for sure. True, Martin, true. Thank you for the heads up, Stuart. Cheers, Dennis. Oh, wow. taste of it. Oh, just drop my water. Yeah, deep breath. Cheers. Cheers, Connor. Some cooling water. Thank you, do hit the like and check out Tyler Hannay, YouTube, and Robbie Gerben, and Nick Bramble. What is it? with me. Yeah, hashtag always a race. Oh man, thank you all. I really appreciate all the advice. Little things like power up, when to use it. Second climb, final climb, what they like. Yeah, that felt good. Thank you all. That's as strong as I've felt in ages. I think it's about 252 watts average for just under the hour, which is good indoors. And definitely the normalised power would be high. Let's have a look at the map. Oh, the power, there you know what I mean. Right. Right, I'm away with the fairies, of course. Adam, you did extraordinarily well to come back from 600 up to 38. Oh my word, sir. Yeah, that was hard. I mean, you can tell even in the sort of the easier bits, I'm never really much into the blue. My FTP, you can see a second, it's about 263 to 5, I can't remember which. But yeah, it's a hard start. And I do like a hard start because it really does build, as I think Stuart and Darren were saying, a mental fortitude to kind of hang on in there. And I was very pleased not to get dropped in that middle climb. That's normally where I'd have been getting dropped the last couple of years. But maybe, I think the volume has helped, the rollers have helped, the crit racing has been helping as well. Albeit I was doing the crit racing last year. And then this was just a hard end. Oh, and I got to a high heart rate. Wow, that's good for me. Like 182. Let's see what my average power was. I always look for the 20-minute. Yeah, nothing. Oh yeah, we're just over. Does it go higher? Does it go higher? Yeah, go on. Do we get to 260? I always love to see. Oh, I don't get to 260. Flipping out. What was 30 minutes? Yeah, still good. I mean, this is great power for me. And then that I think the first 4 minutes it was up that climb. Where are we gone? There we go. Oh, 4 minutes or so. Yeah. Yeah, it's about 3:30. Yeah, flipping out. That's I was out the saddle as well. It's a bit easier to deploy the power for me out the saddle. Oh, dear me, Adam, how are you feeling after that? I mean, that was one hell of a bridge. 900 calories. So let me take a picture of the timeline. I always like a picture of the timeline. F10 it. Oh, dear me. And no, back to the ride, you bugger. And just to show you what I was working with, settings. You can see in the hardware, 75% trainer difficulty, because definitely that's when I'm grinding in the saddle and having to go out of the saddle, it kind of mimics real life for me with a 34 on the rear of the video. And then in terms of the weight, I've been between 65.8 and 66.3 or 66 this morning, dead on the nose. And then in terms of the power, you can see I'm using the Faveros, because that's what I use outdoors, and the old kicker reads a little bit higher. Adrian, how are you? I have very much enjoyed trying to hold your wheel. You are proper strong, sir. Real inspiration. I think you just passed through 60. You're seriously fit. I know you're an aficionado, as I was just saying earlier in the stream, of 100% trainer difficulty. Because I'm guessing you want to have it replicated outdoors. Adrian, everybody, ex-pro cyclist, represented England. Adrian Timmis, Cadence Sport. This is a man that genuinely, and I mean genuinely, not YouTube knows, genuinely knows about how to cycle, how to set yourself up for cycling, bike fits, shoe size, everything. He knows what works. Adrian, I have just got myself an aero bike, Adrian, and so I should come to you for a bike fit up in the Peak District So you can show me how I could maybe improve it. I'm trying to get more aero on the rollers, you know, trying to get down. I mean, I'm never, well, I say I'm never, I'm straight, you know, I get down to like arms parallel, but I have my stack height quite high on my Bianchi Ultra Pro. But that helps me get into the kind of the parallel position. But it, you know, I'm holding it for anywhere from 30 minutes downwards. Yeah, Darren knows. I mean, Darren, you're from the Peak District area, so thank you, Adrian. So, look, kindred spirits. I had the most emotional time in the Peak District in June. We did an Everest with Velo 29, and Velo 29, they're lovely people. They're based up in the Yorkshire region, but they use the Peak District a lot. They organise all kind of sportives and events and that kind of thing. They did the Everesting challenge on Peaslow Hill in the Peak District, and it was cold. It was about 5 degrees. It was raining for 10 hours of the 12. And it was like one of those days we do, I don't know, I did like 900 odd TSS over my 12 hours that I was riding that Everest. And boy, did I get ill afterwards. But somehow I'm thinking, oh, I'd like to do it again, but not this year, because I'm going to do the coast to coast with Velo 29. Looking forward to that. Dear me, I feel really good after that. This is the best thing about cycling. Whether you come first, not that I've ever come first, last, or whatever, so long as you give it your best, if you're trying for that, rather than a zone two or something, the release of endorphins is profuse, really profuse. I love the feeling after a crit. I love the feeling after a training session. I love the feeling after a Zwift stream especially, and I really appreciate all of the support. Super kind of you all. It definitely spurs me on. You can see I'm away with the fairies, like literally the endorphins are like bursting through the roof. And the coherent thought is there, but it's ambient. Let's put it that way, it's ambient. Oh, dear me. So next weekend, I've got a Masters crit up at the Velo circuit. I may have a live stream on a Sunday, maybe a shorter race, or I might just, you know, I'm not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll do one, it depends. I am, as I say, really protecting the immune system. I'm down to just one difficult training session a week. I did 3 times 15 on the rollers earlier this week, and then the rest of it is really, I'm doing my zone 2 at kind of the inflection point between zone 2 and 3, around about 200 watts. It says according to my FTP, definitely in the lab. My LT1 is kind of testing it around. On the SEAM is about 220, so I kind of, to be sure, put it about 210 to 215 when I'm training. I'm kind of really trying to just hold like a long block, 90 minutes of power at that kind of level, and see how the heart rate is drifting. And definitely the heart rate has been showing ever less drift and ever more stability around that kind of 150, 155 level. And I think for me that's a good sign of fitness. LT1 is my party trick. The rest of it is where I fall short. Thank you very much, Adam. I very much enjoyed all of the commentary from you, and definitely I have huge respect for you getting back on, so I mean, crying out loud. To get back on in Zwift is proper hard, and that front group, that was moving. I was in all kinds of trouble. I've got to say, Adrian, if that's the case, all you've been doing is zone 1, 2, and a bit of intensity running once or twice a week on a treadmill. I mean, my God, that just shows the base of fitness that you have. That's why I said to people at the beginning when I saw you in the stream, I said you are an inspiration for someone like me. Because it's all well and good for us mammals, because we are mammals at the end of the day, many of us. Some of you are younger, but definitely I am 50. A middle-aged man in Lycra. You can look at Pogacar or whoever your favourite kind of UCI pro is, or some YouTuber that's putting out like huge watts, and you can say, oh, I need to replicate what they do and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, you know, we don't quite, well, as you age, you lose a bit. And so, you know, arresting the decline, making little gains here and there, a bit of strength training to preserve the muscle mass, but staying consistent, that is what, for me, it's all about. 5 times 4 minutes, flip, at that pace, flipping hell. I mean, I used to love running, but I started to get very tight throughout all of the posterior chain, even though I'm doing a lot of weight training back then. And that's kind of why it's transitioned into cycling. I got the Watt bike back in 2018, the summer of 18, and I kind of enjoyed it. And now if I do run, it definitely, I paid a price for time. But I was actually a decent runner because we used to do a lot in the army, the territorial army. You had to do your combat fitness test and your basic fitness test. Combat fitness test is basically a yomp with a rifle, the webbing, the rucksack, all that kind of stuff. But you had to run in parts with all of that. And then the basic fitness test, you had to do 1.5 miles in a minimum, 10 minutes 30. But as a junior officer, I was expected to do it in about, really anywhere from 8:30 to 9. And that's in trainers, to be clear. And then for some quirk of fate, we got changed into a para regiment. Even though we were a yeomanry regiment, they made us do para training, and none of us enjoyed it. And I did a bit of the para training, and that was just too much for me. So I never continued with it because I didn't even want to. At the end of it, you got your jumps. You had to do the jumps course and jump out of a Hercules at a stupidly low altitude. I didn't want to do that. Not as a flipping TA soldier. Anyway, I digress. You turn 52. Yeah, the knees don't allow for running. Yeah. I mean, for me, it started a lot earlier than my 50s. I reckon it was about 45 or so, 46, when I just really started to seize up. A 19-minute 5k on the treadmill. Ha! That is insane. Very nice. Do you have the treadmill on a slight incline? I always used to have it like a 1-2 degree incline, because if you're on the flat on the treadmill, you're kind of bouncing a bit more, and it doesn't. It's a bit like trainer difficulty. I think the treadmill. What do you have it on? I'd be interested to know what someone actually knows what they're doing. Does it? Do you do strength training as well, don't you, Adrian? I'll tell you what. Only can really, I think, intense exercise release the endorphins like this. Where is Atakan? Atakan, where are you? Atakan, you should be telling Atakan from Turkey, who does some insane long distance racing. I think his longest was about 80 kilometers this year. That boy can run. That boy can run for Turkey, let alone Britain. Oh man. I'll probably do a little bit of zone 1 at the end of this. You started weights in November, how are you finding it? Yeah, runners, I definitely reckon, and certainly as you age, it's so much easier to recover from the cycling. I mean, with the running, it's not like I neglected, either the strength training or the stretching. I mean, I am still, to this day, minimum twice a week, typically after a hard cycling session, while the muscle is still warm. Critically, while the muscle is still warm, I'll kind of really stretch out the hamstring, kind of right down, palms on the floor ultimately, and then extend the hip upwards to really extend the stretch until my head is touching my thighs. And then I'll stretch out the quads by kneeling and then lying backwards to go all the way, and I'll hold that for 60 seconds. And what you'll find is the muscle really relaxes as you hold it. You can't force it, you have to kind of just gently come into it and let the muscle just ease out. And I always think that helps me. It's a bit like a free massage, I call it, in my own little deluded mind, whether or not that's true or not. A soft tissue new construction, definitely, Stu. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Flipping out. Were you doing a lot of running or rugby or football or something to require that? dear me. So yeah, stub 20 still on 2%. Yeah, the weights are helping. I used to preach this. I'm actually wondering what to do regarding the channel, because I don't honestly know. I put a huge amount of effort into each of the videos, like the Dolomites one, maybe it's got 5,000 views. That is like a huge effort to pull together, edit, all this kind of stuff, and for whatever reason the algorithm, I mean, I get lovely comments and support and I'm super grateful for that, but the algorithm is killing me, because I think there's so many more people out there that have a much deeper knowledge of training or giving tips or telling you what bike parts to have, the tyre, you know, like I love the Chris Miller show. I get all my cycling kind of kit knowledge from them, and I realise I shouldn't have bought a Bianchi Ultra Pro as a result, but I digress. I'm wondering what to do with the channel, but when I used to do a lot of here's just what I'm doing kind of stuff, football injury, yeah, always a football or skiing injury, always, or indeed rugby. But when I was doing a lot of here's what I'm doing to train and stay fit and consistent, I used to always talk about the weight training, always, because I used to do the bodybuilding. You may have seen pictures of, if you do a search for Phil Lovett or whatever on the Daily Mail, one of my personal trainers got a kind of an article there, and they show you some of the pictures I had from the bodybuilding, and I was really serious about it. It was natural, I hasten to add. It was all British Natural Bodybuilding Foundation, where you're WADA tested if you placed well. And if you actually look at me, I was small, there's no way. I mean, but I could get shredded. I used to manipulate the water in the final peak week to get really dry. Once you got the body fat dangerously low. It's not a healthy pursuit. But through the bodybuilding, I did a lot of strength training. I used to enjoy it, whether it was modified strongman, bodybuilding, all this kind of stuff. And definitely, I've always believed that if you build muscle, preserve muscle, you build strength, it's an athletic commodity. And I don't care what anybody says about, oh, you bulk up, you're going to weigh more on the bike, you won't go uphill quite as quickly, all that kind of stuff. I say bullshit. Because actually, muscle is a much more valuable commodity than body fat. Unless, of course, we're talking about you having to survive in the Arctic, all this kind of stuff. You might be quite happy to have a bit of body fat then. And so if you can recomposition a little bit, and I don't mean aggressively, to change a bit of the body fat, you cut a bit, lose some of the body fat, and through your strength training consistently, keeping your protein intake consistent, you build a bit of strength and muscle. Definitely the recomposition will yield benefits. I mean, with strength training come mitochondria. With strength training comes a larger muscle size, a greater ability to store glycogen. With the strength training comes greater bone density. With the strength training comes a greater ability to deploy power. And generally, if you focus on the compound lifts, i.e. the bench press, the pull-up, deadlift, squat, dip, this kind of stuff, lifts that hit multiple body parts, you only need to do like 3 or 4 different movements twice a week. You know, bench, squat, bench, squat, deadlift, bench, squat, pull up, whatever you want to do, something like that, yeah? And you hit multiple muscle groups at the same time, you build nice movement patterns, you hit the strength nicely because these are the heavier lifts, you build muscle, mitochondria, greater ability to store glycogen, and you gradually can recomposition, and you have a slightly more athletic body. And I don't mean you have like a body like Usain Bolt or something like that. I just mean it's a little bit more athletic, and that definitely all carries over. Yeah, longevity definitely. Weights and cyclocross. Yeah, yeah, cyclocross. I mean, flipping out. I watched Giorgio Coppella, and he's actually doing the nationals. Giorgio, I know you're not watching this. You're doing the nationals. Hope you do really well, sir. Giorgio Coppella cycling. He's just a young dad, and he's showing actually how he balances his training with the cyclocross. And he is a big aficionado of the gym. He's a young lad. Well, I say I must be 30 now, or 32. I'm not quite sure how old he was. But he's a young dad. And he's a big proponent of the strength training, but cyclocross for sure. The power you need in those short bursts is very complementary to the strength training. And if you look at the stuff that Giorgio's doing at the moment, there's a lot of power cleans, he's doing plyometric jumps and things like that. And that's definitely given him punch, and on much more limited training time than he used to have. He's actually doing all right once again. I think he came second in a mountain bike race the other day. Yeah, definitely, Darren, I promise you. Now the key with strength training is you don't go in stupid. You have to, it is actually worth getting a good personal trainer for a month or two just to learn the basic lifts well, because the balcony of strength training is everything we just talked about. Muscle, movement patterns, bone density, strength, body recomposition, more athletic, boom. The basement of strength training is if your form is bad and you're flexing your back, for example, on the squat or the deadlift, or indeed you're uneven on the bench and you're kind of all over the place, you can really hurt your posterior chain, your back, and that can actually lay you out. You know, the basement is muscle. You know, strength training can injure you, and it can injure you very quickly if you don't get it right. So I would always say anybody who's new to strength training, try the body weight movements, all that kind of stuff. Watch a lot of good strength training coaches on YouTube, and start with lightweight. Sometimes unilateral movements, single arm, single leg movements. Think about how your flexibility is, because often your flexibility is not good when you start strength training because we've been desk bound or what have you, and build up slowly. Or get a personal trainer and they can provide really good advice as to some of the stretches to do before training, after training, and how to ease you into a strength training routine. It is not, you know, and if you were to look at the weights that I'm lifting today, they're a lot less than I was lifting when I weighed a similar weight when I was doing the bodybuilding. But I don't care, because I know that, and I know, you know, I am getting close to failure at times, close, but I don't care, because so long as the movement is good and I've got the mind-muscle connection turned on, I'm really engaging, for example, the chest to push out of the bench press. In the squat, I'm back into squatting now. I'm doing a box squat. I'm keeping the back, the chest up, lats contracted, but I'm not allowing the back to round in any way, shape or form. That's, you know, if I feel like I'm close to letting the back round, that's where I cap out the weight, that's where I stop the set, whatever. The strength training is, for me, complementary to the cycling. It is not the be all and end all. It is there to help the cycling, as to what Adrian was saying, help about longevity, because things like a deadlift, a squat, to a lesser extent a bench press, if you can keep them in your routine, I think and this does matter as we get older, you do reduce your risk of injury as well. You preserve that muscle later into life, and you know, hopefully can stay active a little bit longer. Pilates, hey Michael, good to see you. Pilates is your new do. Yeah, you've been saying this because obviously you're a big runner as well. Good to see you. I take it the Fezzer has been off the road. It'd have been a bit leery to take it out this weekend on the snow and ice. Even down in London, I was going to do a crit race yesterday, but they called it off because even at the velo circuit, the frost didn't come off the track, and it'd have been too dangerous. The ice-tastic. Anyway, I'm going to go back. Jane is away, so I've got a big day of editing. I'm going to see my mum. Big day of editing. I'm going to see how much of this video with Lee Baxter in the Lake District I can get edited. And if you haven't checked it out, please do check out my comparison of the Bologna climb in Zwift with that in real life, the San Luca climb. It is very much cyclotourism without mercy. I do a full gas, and I mean full gas climb up the Bologna climb. I hired a Fuji bike. It was steel or aluminium. It's 10.5 kilograms, and it climbed nicely. It was like a mechanical not a mechanical, what's it called? A Shimano group set. I liked it. It climbed all right. And I do a comparison with a similar steel bike in Zwift, but also I show you just how mesmerisingly beautiful the climb is, but just how intriguing it is. It's rich in history. Bologna is a beautiful city, and so there's plenty of little cutaways to show you what it looks like inside, because the Bologna climb is my favourite climb on Zwift, and so please do check out that video. Hey Peter, good to see you. Very few cyclists are out this weekend. Yeah, definitely. You're ramping up the weights. Yeah, nice one, Peter. Respect for that. Do and stay consistent on it. There'll be times where you just don't want to do it or don't feel like you've got the time for it. I promise you, if you're in your early 40s, or indeed you're your 50s or your 60s, it is never too late to start strength training. In America, you see a lot more older people, I mean right the way through their 70s up into their 80s in the gyms. You know, if I'm on holiday in the US, they're just there, and they come a little bit later, obviously, like when I would go on holiday, because I do like a gym training on holiday. And you know, once it's part of the lifestyle, I promise you, it's very enjoyable. Obviously, there's, like in anything, whether it's cycling, running, whatever, there are times when you don't feel like it, but once it's part of the lifestyle, you will feel the benefits, I promise you. It's not suboptimal for the bike. That's the other point I would make. Sorry, I know I've been on a rant about the weights. It is definitely not suboptimal for the bike to be doing weights. Let me repeat that. Strength training is complementary to, and it isn't. Loads of people now on YouTube say, oh, strength training is wonderful, it gives you extra power on a bike and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, yeah, it does a bit, no doubt, and there's been a bit of a bandwagon on this, but strength training is, I think, a foundation that so many athletes, whether they are rowers, runners, sprinters, even golfers, those in the know, they take strength training, they make it specific to the needs of their sport, and they have a coach who tailors it to make it complementary to, so it's not detracting from the energy or creating the an unnecessary muscle soreness, or they're fitting in the potential for muscle soreness with enough recovery for the hard workouts on a bike. But the recomposition you get, you drop a bit of body fat, you grow a bit of muscle, makes you more athletic. The movement patterns you get make you better able to hold an aerial position. That's what I'm working on at the moment. The bone density means if you come off, hopefully you don't get quite such a bad injury. Obviously, if you do your clavicle. But the body recomposition, even if you end up weighing a tiny bit more, if your body composition is better, you've got more mitochondria, you've got more explosive power. For everything other than climbing up Alpe d'Huez, your sound is a pound on the bike. And how often do any of us get to climb up Alpe d'Huez? I promise you, it is complementary. Number of adequate working fans. Thank you very much. You coming down for that, Carlo? You coming down? You can see my new Ultra that I shouldn't have got, according to Chris Miller. They said it's froth. I should have got, what is it, a Tarmac SL8 or something like that. I can't really. I love the Chris Miller show. I work out all the mistakes I've made in what I've bought or spec'd. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Please remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, live, thrive, stay super healthy, get strong, get in the gym, enjoy your training on the bike, have fun with friends and family, and arrivederci, ciao, sayonara.